All right. Thanks so much for joining us today, everyone. My name's Jen O'Donovan, and I'm a Careers and Student Employment Advisor here at Macquarie. Today, I'm joined by my colleague, Tyree Barnett, and we're going to have a bit of a discussion about the best way to you to try and find an internship. Now, Tyree, I know this is a common question that we're currently asked by our students. So what would be your top tips for a student trying to source their own internship?
Sure, thanks, Jen. Yeah, internships are crucial as a student, and it's also important to have a general careers direction on what you want to do with that internship. But you should also be flexible in that, remember, you may end up working in a completely different area, maybe an area that you didn't anticipate when you first started your degree. But in terms of directly answering Jen's question on where to look for internships, there's a few places. The first one I'll start with is LinkedIn. Hopefully, you all have a LinkedIn profile. If not, great time to start one, even if it's just a picture and a few brief details. So you can use LinkedIn actually to go on Macquarie University's page, and you can go to the alumni tab. You can actually see what alumni have graduated from Macquarie with your same degree, where they're working, where they may have interned, what their first job is in or was in, and you really get a blueprint in terms of how others have done it before you. And so that can give you an idea on where to look for internships and work experience. You can also look at your own professional network of maybe you have connections already on LinkedIn, or if you have a profile, or maybe your colleagues, classmates, people you've known have graduated are all part of your professional net or personal network. And so you can also look to see where they have uh, interned or where they got work experience over the break or over the course of their degree. There's also any applicable student groups or associations at Macquarie. Many of them may have different either panels or opportunities for current students to meet recent alumni or students that are in internships or students that have gone through internships. There's even a handful of student groups that actually run their own internship programs. And so you have to, determine if that is relevant to your current course, because some of them may be more for undergrads, but it's worth taking a look. And then, of course, another great place to start, aside from LinkedIn, as well as your own professional and personal network, is our website, Employability Connect. We have a jobs board on there. We have three, in fact. And so the two you want to be most, well, really all three, but I'll go for each of them. So the first jobs board we have is just general for all jobs. The second jobs board we have is for unit or opportunities that have been flagged as being applicable for PACE, which is our work integrated learning unit. Now, there may be some opportunities in that you may be interested in using as an internship, depending on whether or not it applies to you and whether or not it fits the criteria of what you're looking for. There's also, of course, our colleagues with the Student Employment Service that have also flagged a certain number of jobs and further promoted them as well. And these are also paid opportunities that could include internships or other work integrated learning that will be suitable for your internship as well.
Mm.
Now, aside from what we have, there are recruitment platforms. Sorry, Jenny, were you about to say something?
No, I was just going to, these are some great tips, Tari. I hope people are taking notes on them, writing those links down for, LinkedIn, networking, Employability Connect, and of course, those job boards within there.
Absolutely. And just to be clear, thanks, Jen. Employability Connect, the URL is actually careerhub.mq.edu.au. But the website itself is called Employability Connect. And so there's also recruitment platforms. So platforms outside of our EC or Career Hub platform. So companies like Adecco, as well as People to People, Hayes, Randstad, you can Google recruitment agencies and you can see them pop up. They will also have a number of jobs that are either short placement, short stints, contract roles, perhaps some internships or other opportunities for you to use as your internship as well. A lot of these recruitment agencies will and platforms will be recruiting for jobs that have a high turnover rate, jobs that are maybe temporary, as well as jobs that are more entry level or more aligned to kind of where you enter in the workforce. And so great opportunities there. Then there's, of course, your employer websites, whichever employers you've kind of earmarked as your ideal or dream employer. Check out their websites, also their social media. They're on LinkedIn as well. They're likely on maybe other social media, whether it be sometimes Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, depending on what their brand is. They may be on there as well. And if they are, they may also be using that social media as a recruitment tool as well.
Mm.
Um, There's also professional associations. So some of you may already be familiar with some professional associations that are aligned to your industry. So not only the student groups on campus, but there'll be also professional associations that have national or New South Wales wide chapters that you can Google and then log on and join and be a part of. For instance, if you're interested in consulting, there may be some around consulting. Or if you're interested more in like maybe digital marketing, there may be some for professional digital marketers in Australia, New Zealand. So you can have a look at those, and many of them will have resources for students and early career starters like yourself, which will include internship opportunities and other opportunities for what we call work integrated learning, or those jobs and opportunities that can go alongside your degree.
Mm.
Um, and there's also volunteering organizations. I think I'll pause there though to make sure with Jen I've covered everything, but I think that's
Mm.
a good start, a plethora of opportunities there for you to source your own internships and kind of chart your own course.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's really valuable, Tyree. And the advantage of, 2023 is that we're back on campus. So obviously that means we can have some more employer engagements and maybe even some, activities, hackathons, maybe some competitions like that. Would that be a good way, do you think, for people to maybe reach out and expand their network and potentially find some people in companies?
Absolutely. I love hackathons as just an idea and those kind of ideation-a-thons or whatever they're properly called, because activities like that, those volunteering or those short-term engagement activities, are really kind of a boiled down version of what you'd actually be doing with that employer. So opportunities like a hackathon or some sort of case study competition are really kind of miniaturized, maybe shrunk down, somewhat simplified, but realistic versions of what you'd be doing for that company. And it gives you a real taste of what it would be like to work for that company, or what it would be like to work in a certain area or job for that organization. And it also, lets you know, solidifies for you that yes, this is the opportunity for me. This is what I'm after. I enjoy this. Or actually, no, this is not at all what I thought it was. This is not working out. I'm going to complete it, but wow, this is not the pathway for me. So either way, it's going to give you some clarity and some experience, as well as other opportunities that Jen mentioned, other volunteering opportunities, even just volunteering around your local community, whether it be for Salvation Army or St. Vincent's. Keeping in mind that a lot of these large corporate organizations and employers, Macquarie included, actually, Macquarie University, will have a certain number of volunteer days for their
Mm.
employees to just go out in the community and do their own volunteering. Here's a bit of a pro tip. If you like, while you're on that employer's platform, see which volunteering organizations they may partner with. Whether, for example, just to pick out something, whether it's like Oracle, who may, I don't know, be partnered with Salvation Army, and you go on their website and you see, oh, they're partnered with Salvos. I can go and volunteer at Salvos and maybe, meet someone that works at Oracle during a certain time of the year if I know that's when they're going to be volunteering, and do some networking there as well.
Mm.
Otherwise, the other benefits of volunteering is there's also opportunities that still require a skilled volunteer.
Mm.
So if you have the ability to develop great web pages, maybe from your past employment or from past training, not-for-profit organizations need web help. Or if
Mhm.
you're a finance whiz, you're studying that, or accounting, they need help with their books. So there's also skill volunteering opportunities that you could take part in that will also not only help you to practice your skills, but again, you may also have that employer kind of interfacing with that organization because that's where they go to volunteer, or that's where they may have a partnership or something like that.
Yeah, fantastic, Tori. I love that pro tip because, sometimes students say to us, well, how do I build my network? How do I connect with people who are working in industry? And of course, we've talked about professional associations and employer events and that sort of thing. But being able to get to meet people, I guess, in a different setting is sometimes when those connections happen. And of course, there's that old saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So sometimes just mentioning to someone when you're volunteering, oh, I've got an internship coming up, or I'm looking for some work, is a great way to do it. And of course, any and all of those things lead to developing your skills. And here at Macquarie, we have the Macquarie Skills Guide. So that's something you can refer to on Employability Connect, because of course, in order to do this, you're going to need to put a CV together. And often students do struggle with this, but please don't panic. We have a lot of resources for you. So again, through Employability Connect, you can access My MQ Career Zone, and we have a fantastic CV builder there, which really lets you build an Australian CV. So you can put all your experience in, and then that comes out. Then you can put it through CV 360, and that will give you a ranking. And then, of course, you could come and visit the careers team, and we can really make sure that you've tailored your application, this internship that you're going through. And now, often a question that we're asked often by our international students on their CVs is, do I put in my international experience, whether that was paid or unpaid? What would you say to that, Tyree?
Yes, absolutely. Keeping in mind that the world is increasingly global, and that Sydney and Greater Australia is quite diverse, multicultural, and so employers here see value in previous work experience and previous engagements from your home country, especially if it has contributed to those employability skills that you mentioned earlier, Jen. They while they don't want blank slates, they do want you to have an idea of, you know, transferable skills and abilities that you are bringing. Those opportunities, whether it be a student I've talked to last week, she worked in Myanmar and Thailand and did some both paid work across like e-commerce as well as some volunteering opportunities. I had another student actually that was from the Middle East, and he actually had his own import-export business for a few years. And so if you think about the kind of skills that those students have improved upon, things like contract negotiation, right? Multitasking, customer service, or client focus, trying to get to the client what products they need, time management, trying to work out all these, scenarios in real time, maybe uh, one after the other or what have you. These are great employable skills that if you can do in one instance or one time kind of work, you can bring into another kind of work. So absolutely include those on your resume, on your LinkedIn profile, and be prepared to talk about them to employers when asked at interviews.
Awesome. So thanks so much for joining me on this chat today, Tyree, about how to find your internship. And just a final reminder that, the idea of an internship or work integrated learning is to really help you cement that academic knowledge that you have from your degree in a practical setting. And of course, that will then give you more to talk about in future applications and interviews. And again, if you need any help, please start with Employability Connect. From that, you can access the careers team or any resources we have at My MQ Career Zone. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you.